And then if everybody just mutes.
Okay.
So if you could mute, John.
Okay, I'm gonna mute. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
All
lovely.
right.
So we'll just have a little prayer to start off with. Let me be written on. Let God write my story, so that every moment is a hymn to his glory, contemplating him in all I think and see and do, so that all my life expresses you, God, only you. And of course, by God, we mean the I am that's in the midst of us, the I am that we plant ourselves in. So we're just planting ourselves in the I am presence. We're all the branches of the same one tree. And we're like an octopus. And as we see each other, we bless each leg of our being. Oh. So we're going to start today with a poem that we did ages ago from the book, but I just really wanted to do this one. And it's called In This Moment. And it is kind of written as a meditation. In this moment, don't touch any thought at all. And imagine you are trapped between two narrow walls, which are totally constructed from all your thoughts. And if you touch them, you'll get hopelessly caught. Outside, there are lions surrounding your cell, and they can hear exceptionally well. So if your arms even touch these cold walls by mistake, you'd better pray that these lions don't awake, because you'll be swallowed up through their open jaws, exactly like when you're lost in thoughts. So remain totally still. And completely allow the presence of the present right here and now. Don't want anything from this moment, not even to move. There is absolutely nothing that stillness can't improve. Stay silent as the grave and look for nothing at all. Drop thoughts, let them bounce away like a ball. You don't need to forcefully push them away. They cannot harm you. They can't even stay. Because the secret is simply not to engage, whether they're happy thoughts or full of rage. Just leave them alone and don't invest in finishing thought sentences or giving interest. Hush. Keep quiet. And drop any questions, any comments or judgments, ideas or perceptions. Be so still you can't even hear your breath, like before your birth and beyond your death. Who is it that is looking? What is it that's aware? Turn your attention within and hold it there. Now just repeat that. Who is it that is looking? What is it that's aware? Turn your attention within and hold it there. What is it that always remains the same? No matter what the appearances claim. That which remains untouched by disaster. It is your source. You have met your master. When you allow everything to be without resistance, you return to the consciousness of pure existence. Complete relaxation in every moment, crystal clear. Here I am, pure spirit, right here. I can't read that poem without just getting lighter and lighter and giddier and just laughing out loud. Because I keep practicing. This is something that I really recommend. It's something that, it's just something I do. Whenever I'm in the midst of flurry, I practice being at the center, just imagining I'm at the center of a hurricane. So this weekend has been a big music weekend for me. I have two bands. One is more like an orchestra. It's just become so big. And then the other one is a smaller one. And I was playing in both of them. So there's a lot of noise, beautiful sounds. There's a lot of talking and discussing how we should play tunes. People have got different ideas. There's a lot going on. Then it's tea breaks and biscuits. And, there's just like loads of stimulation. And I just love sitting in the music, particularly when I'm playing a very frantic tune, even though I might be playing it with everybody, and just feeling that in the midst of all this is this cool center of the hurricane. And I love playing with that, just doing it. And the more noise there is, I mean, no more do I feel as I used to. I've got to go away to a Himalayan place or go on a retreat and find this quiet. This quiet, it's always within. And we were saying just before the call, me and Joni, that, you know, this thing about pausing. Everything that you see in front of you that looks dreadful somehow gets flipped round and gets put right the minute you stop interfering, like just in that, not attaching our judgments. Because when we see things, I mean, I'll just say this bit and shut up, because I really want to hear from you. So it's just that, there's like loads going on at the moment, a lot of fear that's resounding around the world and all this kind of thing. And there's lots of judgments and comments and pros and people putting stuff up left, right, and center. And you know, it's all of that is just so obviously mortal mind. And it's not that on one level it's not going on, but if you don't live in that mindset, these are not going to be your pictures, no matter what's reported, because we are so sustained and maintained when we dwell in the secret place of the Most High. So that line about, don't let's be as still so that, there's lions going round the cell, outside of the cell, and we don't want to wake them up. These walls, they're made of thoughts. So when we remain absolutely still, we don't touch those thoughts, we don't wake them up. And of course, that's not how we can be in every moment, day to day. Thoughts keep coming up and crashing like the waves. But it's just that dropping and disengaging from them and releasing anything that comes up all the time. And just before, for instance, there's something that happened that I thought was a bit unhelpful, which I've got to deal with. It's a practical thing. And, you know, I'm a bit suspicious because it's to do with my medical records, which I needed access to, which I've always been able to see. And when I looked the other day, they'd been cleaned, everything, everything, the pathology reports, everything. And it said something like some request by the patient has been overridden. I was very angry. That's what arose. And I thought this has been done without my permission. It was obviously hoped that I would never look at this, but I did look. So there was all these kind of things coming up. So I rang up the surgery and said, I want to speak to somebody about my record. And then she said, well, you know, I can make you a phone appointment and that won't be for another week. So it was interesting because there was this kind of bit enraged, how dare they, and all this kind of thing. And it's great that we live this life of presence and releasing, because I thought, well, do I want to hold on to this anger, which is coming from probably a need to control of all the things, control and stuff. Or am I going to park it till next week? Or am I going to just keep it going? So I thought, all that's happening now is perfection. Right now, everything is just fine. Nothing's affecting me, but something as big as that, which is why I'm bringing it up, could really affect you. Every so often, a little wave comes up, and I just release it. I am not in control of that. I just release it. I just let it go. And I know there is a scheduled time when I can have researched the points I want to make, write a little list and speak politely and, openly to the doctor and have a discussion. But years ago, I would not have been like that. It would have been going round and round and coming up and, all this kind of, how can I wait a week and all this sort of thing? And how dare they? And what does this mean? And is it a conspiracy? All that sort of thing. But this is the beauty. And the reason I'm bringing it all up is because this is just me talking about my little microcosm. But this is how everything gets blown out of proportion in the macrocosm, isn't it? Because, everybody's getting angry about everything that is either in the future or the past, or worrying about it, or we're constantly making these pictures up all the time. So that poem is really about getting back to the middle of the hurricane and not worrying what's happening in the next 10 minutes, never mind tomorrow, but just, you know, in the next 10 minutes. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful for the life that we're all leading because we're all on this same page here, you know, and it's just such a blessing. And I am really thankful to be here with all of you every week because we all, because we're all on the same page, we'll have this same mind. So yeah, so I'd love anybody want to say anything, please do. Lynn, Rafi. Yeah.
I cannot find the raise hand thing on this now. It's like, what happened here? So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I had a huge, huge breakthrough this weekend. And when I tell you about it, you're gonna laugh because it's just so obvious. Um, but Vicky, our dear friend Vicky, uh, it was on James Twyman. Of course, she's on there every day, and I listen to her. And of course, or may not know that she is really backing Donald Trump and thinks that he's a great guy. And so the other day on Jimmy Twyman, she was saying, "And look, he just wants to do the best thing for everybody, and he just wants everything to be good." And Elon Musk, he was just jumping around like a little kid. He was so excited about how they're going to fix the country and make everything better. And I'm just so excited. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. My mind was just reeling, right? Reeling, reeling, reeling. And I was like, oh my God, you know, do you ever have this wrong? Everything's going to go wrong. And then Jesus said to me, Lynn, don't you trust me?
Oh, wow.
Don't you trust me? And I was like, oh, well, yeah, but don't you trust me? I guess I don't. I don't trust you, Jesus. That's why I'm so weirded out and afraid. I don't trust. And I realize that. And now that's the only thing that's in my mind. Every time I see anything, start worrying about something, get afraid of something. Don't you trust me? And, you know, I do. I just have to look at it and remember that that's it. I trust that everything is just okay, everything is fine, everything is perfect, and that the Holy Spirit has everything in hand. There is nothing going to go wrong, nothing's going to hurt us. And
That's
I have to just trust Jesus. And so that was a huge breakthrough for me, and it's completely shifted everything for me. And so now I'm looking at Vicky going, yeah, I can see how she's so excited because she does trust.
But you see, there's also another thing there. That is fantastic. I love that. I love that. Thank you, Lynn. The other thing is Vicky, who's just like, for those who don't know, Vicky is like pure sunshine. She just did, she's just like pure sunshine, and she's very innocent. It's lovely. And the thing is that you see, everything about this is everybody's different points of view, and it means nothing, nothing, nothing because it's all projection. It comes down to who you've got also at home in your family, each one of us, all our friends, every one of them. It's our projection. And everybody else has a different projection of them. And there's so much rubbish talked about who's good, who's bad, who'll do what the outcome of this is this good, is this bad? It's just pure projection because it is all perfect, even when it looks horrible to the mind, which is always separating nice from horrible, isn't it? But Jesus Christ, our consciousness, is that heart of the hurricane, that still place where there's no judgment, there's nothing, it's just unaffected. That's your trust right there, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that just brought me right, you're right to the center.
Mm.
And then all the whirling around of everything was just so clear. It's like, oh, I don't have to worry. And that's why Vicky is, I mean, she's just total trust. And total trust says, if the guy says I'm going to make everything better, he's going to do it.
In
If
her in her reality, yeah, in her reality,
yeah,
then
and
that's the
and,
thing.
and and it's the truth. Really,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
have any reason to just, I can't look to the past and say, well, he didn't do that before, or he didn't say he was good. I can just look at Jesus and say, yeah, I trust in you.
yes, 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 absolutely. And but everybody has a different. This is why it's working. This thing that's happening, this upturning, this apparent awfulness, depending which way you see it, depending whatever, is that it's everybody's different story. Their outcome of this that's happened, this election or whatever, is going to be wonderful or not wonderful depending on their point of view, isn't it? It's all wonderful because it's not in the human realm, actually. That's what you're
Right.
saying. And it's perfect. We are totally safe, maintained, and that's what we look to, that consciousness, isn't it? It's kind of looks complicated, but it's also really simple. It's just that whoever thinks it's great, then in their reality, it's great. Whoever thinks it's terrible will give themselves a headache because they're going against what is. That's what is. It's terrible if that's what you're telling yourself. It's all what we're telling ourselves. So, mm, yeah. Sorry, you going to say something else, Lynn?
No, no, I'm complete. So,
You are. Most definitely.
uh,
Thank you. Oh,
thank
Rafi.
you.
Yes, well, in regard to all of that, what I've come to is, and I just allow the dream to flow by as it does. Just sit there and watch it. If there's something I need to learn from, first of all, it's my projection. Okay, so taking responsibility. Okay, and so just let the dream do what it does and take from it whatever. First of all, it's not real, it's not true, it isn't anything, and it's serving at the same time. That's the paradox that makes it true. So I let the dream flow by, and if it's got something to teach me, it will. And if it doesn't, then I know that I'm in that centering piece that is the reality. And the other thing, if every time it goes by, if it brings up something for me to let go of, what is that? You just mentioned before about wanting control, that out of control, lacking control feeling. How can I? Well, that goes deeper and deeper and deeper. It goes into frustration, it goes into hate, it goes into anger, it goes into wanting to kill. And it's just a feeling. It's just, and they all come up to leave. They have no, everything is here serving us. Even the feelings that seem so horrific are actually serving us because they can. Hello, could you let me go, please? Absolutely. And then just sit back and watch the dream do its thing. And it
It,
has nothing to do with anything. I take responsibility for it, absolutely. But don't get caught up in it because as soon as you get caught up in it, you get into that situation where you think it's real and then you have to, quote, handle it. Well, the only one that judges and handles it is an ego concept. That's not true. It's not real. And it's not what I am. And I can't get caught up in that anymore. Stay centered. I love the poem because it speaks to all of that without, I mean, and a lot of times without even having to say. But it brings it up and it's there and it's saying now, 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 right at this very moment. Is there anything wrong right at this very moment? No. Okay. Is there anything but this moment? No. Okay. Got it. Got it. Thank you.
And thank you for the reminder that, it's really good, just that sentence, that everything comes up to leave. Everything comes up to leave. That's the biggest lesson, because that's the biggest letting go, isn't it? Everything comes up to leave, Rafi. So yeah, great. Love it. Oh, you're muted.
There isn't anything that isn't working for our ultimate good. Every nanosecond has been brilliantly orchestrated by the truth of our infinite self for our benefit to wake us up.
Yeah.
It's all you have to do is get in harmony with it. And harmony is so powerful. Gratitude is powerful. Loving yourself is powerful. It's all there for us.
And hence, that's why we can trust. That is the absolute explanation of why we can absolutely trust and why it's perfect. Absolutely.
And when Joni said, I mean, when Lynn said about, trusting Jesus, you got a better idea than that? I don't think so.
No. Thank you, Rafi. John.
Yeah, thank you, Rafi. Thank you for everybody being here today. This is kind of a wake-up call for me too, right from the get-go. And what I'd like to just share is basically is if I have a problem, if I identify a problem, it's only for one reason. I have a question, and it's just to discover what the question is, and it speaks to me in different ways, like, oh, it's trust in Jesus. Oh, I got to bring it up. Oh, I got to do these things, come up to leave. And it could be so many different things. But the question is answered for me today in your presence, Mandy, and also in the poem. And there's just a few lines I'd like to read as an answer to my question, or to my quest, if I may. And it kind of speaks to what Lynn identified, heightened my attention to something. And it's really heightened my attention to what is my attention. And it says in here, I had 2A and B, turn your attention within and hold it there. What is it that always remains the same, no matter what the appearances claim? That which remains untouched by disaster. It's your source. You have met your master. And as I heard those words for the first time, and as I say them again right now, it amplifies the very idea, that, oh, trust in Jesus, or whatever, bring it up for healing, or whatever Rafi says. But for me, that is the highlight. That which remains untouched by disaster. It is your source. You have met your master. It's so profound. And it's just a joy to say that, and to be in a resonance with the people here on a call that I can identify with, and just share the you're going to say musculature, but it's the strength of all being together. It's like a rising. It's the rising tide, I would say, the rising tide of consciousness of being with a crowd like this. Especially with a beautiful lady like Mary. Mary, I love your name. It's so happy. It makes me want to laugh. And by the way, that kind of brings me to the laughter. It's a stabilizing thing. It is so for me when I can see something and see the smile on your face, or here, or Joni, or anything like that. It's stabilizing. There's nothing more to say just after laughing, and so I have joy. So thank you very much.
Lovely, John. Thank you so much. Rafi. Oh, Joni's got a hand up too. Oh, don't know. We've spoiled for choice.
Go ahead, Rafi. I'll wait and tell my little story.
Okay, I just hit something that just, wow. But while he was talking, my ego's going, oh, I know that stuff. You ain't telling me anything new. I this and I that, and it's like, and it was going on like, there's nothing about this stuff I don't know. I realized, okay, that's just a lot of ego noise, and it's just another form of judging. It's just another form of look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. I just, oh God. But it came up really subtle until I stepped back and looked at it and then look the way this thing is carrying on. Wow.
Well,
And
that's what's
I
cute,
made it,
you see. That's what's cute.
yeah.
We have to realize that we are cute, especially when that stuff goes on.
And I just saw that thing happening, and I looked at it, and I thought, oh, look, I'm so glad I was, instead of getting caught up in it, I was able to step back and watch it. And then some wanting approval came up, and I let go of the wanting approval. It's, perfect, perfect, perfect. If you pay attention, you see the perfection.
And we'll always only hear things that we already know on one level. It's just that they go in at a different level, don't they? The penny drops suddenly on something. Like you were saying, Lynn, about trusting Jesus. Your whole life, our whole lives has been about that. But suddenly it's like you're saying it and you can't actually make it sound as deep as it went because the penny dropped so deep in that moment that it's just a wow moment, and it's almost impossible to express it in words, isn't it? So I know what you mean.
It is, and it's so obvious. Well, yeah, of course, trust in Jesus. No, I did not trust in Jesus. I was not trusting anything. I was absolutely in total fear. And it just hit me. As much as I like to say I trust God, I trust my brother, I trust Jesus, I was not doing that at all. And once it hit me that was the that was the actual problem right there, was that I was, just mouthing the words I trust, but in reality, I was still living in fear. So yeah, what a trip. I love that.
It's a trip all the way down deeper within, isn't it? Yeah. Go on, Joni. You had just your story. Yeah.
I told this to Mandy today, but I want to tell it to here because it really is in the simplicity. And I didn't remember to laugh until I remembered, like with Lynn, the penny dropping. So for me, control is a biggie. And my ego is running on a hair on fire or a gerbil wheel. Oh, just let me try this. Let me try this. My other computer must have updated or whatever, and I couldn't get into Gmail and on Chrome. It was not responding. So I tried every trick I knew, restarted all kinds of stuff as the clock is ticking down. And then I finally said, well, I could feel my body, it's just revving, my heart rate's going up. So I decided to come back here to my office and open up the bigger computer. And the same thing happened. And I was like, okay, it's not what ego thought. There's the control. And I was like, okay, now it's literally 15 minutes before start for Maureen's class. And I didn't get to do what I wanted for this class. And now I'm breathing heavy. The control, my ego is grabbing for control. It's like nothing's working, and my intellect's not working. My training's not working. And I was holding my breath. I was like, let me try something, but I was running out of ideas. And then I just paused. I paused and took a breath and realized I was doing it again. I was trying to control the outside world, the dream. I didn't, and I'm looking at the clock going, I can't do anything else. Now, the difference is I'm trying not to make God a technical Santa Claus. So I just accepted. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I just paused. And I went in again. I can't say I heard anything or whatever, but I went in and everything was working. And it was like, it's almost like I saw for a moment how much my thoughts and control block God's plan. You know, I don't know what it was. I'm not sitting here pretending I took the time to take it to Holy Spirit. But what I know for sure is how much, oh, I did get a thing. It said, relax or slow down, you know, and I wasn't doing that. And so it helped me to experience it. I experienced the result of slowing down and breathing and pausing. And what I got was I took full responsibility. My frantic control blocks God's plan. Even if it's in that little non thing, where do I do that all day long? And I couldn't believe it. I really got to feel and experience it as I stepped back because my ego ran out of crap to do. And I literally was hanging out on a limb, and the limb was calm, release, pause. Thanks for listening.
And that is the Holy Spirit right there. So we're not looking for quotes. We're not looking for anything or words or anything. We're just pausing, because that active, God is an active energy that only starts working for us when we shut up. You know, we just stop for a moment. That's it. Rafi.
The key word that you mentioned, Johnny, was acceptance. As soon as acceptance is a very high power. And the only power higher than that is peace. But once you okay, the lower feelings, apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger, pride, you surpassed that. You went into courageousness and acceptance. And all of a sudden, you weren't the victim of the world anymore. It was your projection. And as soon as you slowed down and stopped and got now, all of a sudden, like you said, the ego just ran out of steam. And that was perfect. And when you're like, I thought, what is this? A great reminder. What a great reminder. What a great reminder. Now, what else can I let go? And what came up for me was wanting safety and security. And I was able to just let that go. And so, God, I talk about everything being a blessing. There's the blessing.
Do you know, I absolutely, that total, yeah. I love it. This is my favorite subject, about pauses. And I just say, oh, sorry, Mary, I won't be a moment. It was just that yesterday, so when I was, we were playing, we were doing this new tune, which I was supposed to have practiced. That was our homework. I hadn't practiced it. So, and then our kind of leader said, right, we're going to have violins doing this line, and then we're going to have flutes doing that line, and then we're going to have accordions doing this line. And guess what? I'm the only accordionist. Oh no! So I persuaded a couple on the flute to accompany me, and then it came to this bit that I saw as tricky. And the first time, because I saw it as tricky, I kind of fluffed the line a bit. The second time I thought, I'm not even doing this. This is God playing this instrument. This is the presence playing it. There's nothing I can do. I'm just going to let that come through. Oh, and then the second line was played beautifully. And from then on, I could play the tune. It's the same thing. It was just the stopping of trying. And that's it. So letting go, these little pauses. It writes everything, turns it back. Turn ye and live. That's what it means. Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mandy. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to ask your opinion about something. I wondered what you thought about, I want to get to a calm and loving place. And I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I need to be out by 5:30 to get to work by 6. And it's early, and I typically sleep deprive myself, meaning I don't get a full night's sleep. And so one of the things I do is I listen to your Your Only Business. I listen to that audiobook while I'm getting ready. And then sometimes I listen to, like lately I've been listening to an Alan Cohen meditation. And I thought, well, maybe I could just blast myself with light. And because sometimes I learned this from Marianne Williamson, to blast others with a warm light. And but I thought sometimes I'm the call for love, and can I blast my own internal self, my consciousness, I'm responsible for only my consciousness, not for anything else, because that's what I'm going to see outside. So I've been practicing that, and then when I'm at work, I can see others with more love and calmness, and the stuff that I'm doing with more calmness. Because I get to work and I'm like, boom, I gotta do stuff, do it right away and get it done in a timely manner. And I love it in general. I appreciate it. Anyway, just wanted to see what you thought about, like, blasting your own internal self with that.
Yeah, well, I whenever I have this choice, I've come a cropper so many times that I've really learned this. Whenever I've started out thinking, right, I'm going to be loving, I'm going to go there wherever I'm going. I'm going to blast everybody with lights. I'm just going to put myself on the back burner and I'm just there for that. Whatever it is that I set up. When I used to do that, it always went wrong. I found that I would say something that I shouldn't have said, or I did something. It just fell by degrees through the day. And then one day, I will never forget this because it caused a car accident. So one day I was going to, let me just try and remember where it was. It was because I had the car accident and that stopped it. I was going to first of all, I was going to a party as a surprise. Somebody asked me to surprise somebody who didn't know I was going, and I was going to go there. And then I had something to do that would, yeah, I think it was a music thing that I was doing, free, voluntary thing. So I remember starting off the day, I sat on the edge of my bed and said, "Oh, um, let me be the best I can be for all these people. Let me radiate a light that brings them delight, and let everything that I do be a blessing to them, so that I make everybody happy, and I'm full of love, and I'm blasting them with light, and I'm full of this. And then I went across a dual carriageway a bit too quickly, and wham, a big motorbike came into the side of the car. The car looked really bad. This isn't the one I talked about a while ago. This was only a couple of years ago. And wow, big crash. So, but because I'm somebody that's learnt even then, to just kind of be still in all situations and wait. When things are beyond my control, I'm pretty good at just waiting. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen now. It's out of my control totally. And then all these angels appeared. They were really like angels, because the one on the motorbike who crashed into me was an impatient young man. I understood it. He got his motorbike that day. He was very young and he was really angry. I thought he was going to kill me. He managed to get my door open, and my God, the torrent of rage. And it just got worse. And then this man appeared out of nowhere and just took him away. Just took him away. Got me out the car, put me on a side bit, and then he got all the neighbours round and told them, "You get her a cup of tea, you do this," and kept his arm around me for about an hour solid until the ambulances came and everything. By the way, I was perfectly all right. But by the time I got home, the police even came round to see me and were so kind and said, "Oh, it wasn't your fault, and he's known to us as a bit of a naughty boy," and all this kind of thing. But what I got from that was I was trying to control. I was trying to control things. I hadn't realized it because my heart felt so full of love, Mary. You know, I wanted to do that, blasting everybody, but it's not even for me to decide that I'm going to blast people with light or anything. All I can do is exactly what you said, is just feel the light and be in receipt of it. This is the thing we sometimes forget, to start every day receiving. For us, we have to do it first. Mrs. Baker Eddy always says we have to do our own healing first. We can't, it's completely the wrong way about. We think it's nice and unselfish to put everybody else first, but we can't put everybody else first if we aren't very still within ourselves and full of light. And then we don't have to worry about anybody else. We don't have to go with the thought, I'm going to be this, or I'm going to see everybody in the light. We don't have to worry about that, because when we've been in receipt of such love and light, we're so full of it. You know, we're full of it, not full of the bad stuff, but full of the good stuff. We're full of it. And then it just happens naturally and automatically. But now I don't know if that's answered your question. Has that answered what you wanted to? I might have gone way off piste.
Oh, I appreciate that. That was a lot of fun to go out to hear all that. I get that I'm not able to blast light if I don't have it first. So that's where, I have a half an hour to get myself to, and I'm also driving Highway 1, which is super wiggly in the dark. And anyway, I mean, I'm just trying to paint a picture like I have minutes to go. And I don't have a lot of time to, I don't make time to do a meditation. So what I feel like I can do is blast myself with light. And basically it's God. It's God that I'm just filling myself with the light. And then whatever happens, happens. Like I am in God's hands. Um I'm trusting God. I'm already there, trusting God. But this this being that I am expressing through, it has had like that foam that you can put in your attic. It's like this foam that just I'm just light. And now I I'm able to just receive whatever happens. So it gets I yeah. I'm just and so I just wanted to see what you thought about that, or what comments that anybody has about just it felt good, especially when I only got like 3 hours of sleep and I was about to work 9 hours. Um, um, which is another story, but I could just blast myself with this light and then just let it go. I could not like I do it all day long. I do it for like 4 minutes tops. And then that's it. Then I just turn myself over to the care of God, basically.
Perfect. Oh, so lovely. Thank you, Mary. So lovely to hear from you. John.
Yeah, I want to thank you too, Mary. I think that was great what you said
Yeah.
and what you introduced, because for me, well, when you asked your question and Mandy gave you the answer, I went straight to that place. It's kind of like a database got solidified in my consciousness, a database of what you're saying. What you're saying is the light, but being in receipt of that light, being willing to be in receipt and giving myself time to receive that. And that's really what I got from Mandy's story, just being in receipt and incorporating the metaphor or the story into a certain solid and strong database of experience in my own consciousness, what Mandy shared, and go through all that. Oh my God, that's so rich. And I just wanted to, I do want to embed that totally in my awareness to be, because that's what I was in receipt of that. And I had the experience of receiving that as Mandy was talking. And so by me expressing that is a way of acknowledging you for your question and the solution that you got, because it would really it gave me a great resource that I can use if I remember to do it, because this is holding the candle in the middle of the storm and watching it, no flickering, and just watching it burn deeply and brightly in my heart with trust. So thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Joni.
All right, so here's a levity, a little laughter. With the poem talks about, staying in the present moment like you're in a hallway. I wasn't going to tell this, but it is pretty funny. Is when I went after I was in the pause and I just wanted to go back and do something with the other computer. You know how when you turn your chair and you look down before your eyes look up when you take your next step? Okay, here's the funny is my little dog left 2 presents and my foot was right in the middle. And I thought, there's a good example to be in the present moment. because on either side I'm out of, anyway, I just thought it made me smile because
that's brilliant. I'm really glad you added that.
I laughed myself the whole way back to the thing. I was like, there's perfect example,
Yeah, exactly. That's the best example. That's better than the poem, because the thing is, once you start touching that stuff, you're in the shit. So that's absolutely
and I accepted it because it hasn't worked when my ego gets upset and tries to do something different. It just is there, and I can either accept it and stay in the narrow, or I could step in it and start a whole chain of thought linking judgments that is just going to make me suffer. And I just laughed because really it's no big deal. It just is. Anyway, thanks for letting me tell my little.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Thanks, Joni. Oh. Oh, it's so lovely all being together. Now, I was just kind of ruminating on that thing that I was just saying to you, Mary, about what it was that why it was so kind of egotistic in a way, this kind of setting up my day that I was going to be lovely, and I was trying to think where the ego part was, but of course it was in thinking that I was outside of what I already am, because I already am that. So if the ego's trying to set it up that I'm going to be a certain way, then it's causing separation. It's me forgetting who I actually am, because I am can only be love. We cover it up all the time. That's what the veil is. We cover it up. But that's why the most important thing is to receive the love, because it keeps us. That's what God wants, if you like. That's what the core of our being wants, is for us to be loved by God all the time. All it wants to do is love us. So we don't have to do anything else. There's nothing for us to do. That's why so many of the religions have it backwards, when they constantly carp on about how we have to be compassionate. We're all sinners and we have to do this and we have to do that. And that sets up it's just ridiculous. That it sets up terrible guilt. And you can't even choose to be compassionate, because when you relax into what you are, that is compassion. The essence of us, the core of us, is love and compassion. We can't pretend or force or try. That's setting up a separation, you see. Yeah. Yes, Mary.
I guess I just don't, in the mornings, or I just don't feel like I have the calm nervous system to just see the light and then see the light that is me. So that's why I do the blasting. I feel like I can at least do something, and then, but, but, but I can maybe just see that light. I love that, John. See that still candle in the middle of the hurricane
It's
that's not
lovely.
even moving, and then see that, and then, like you said, Mandy, receive it. Just that simple act of receiving it, and then getting into acceptance, and then I'm there. I'm in that stillness. I just have been practicing this for a while, and I don't, I feel like I can't be still enough. I can't get to that stillness, um, but I could do those little things to kind of get myself there, and that is to see that still candle, to see that I am light, to receive it, what you said, and then to accept, and then just let it go. I'm already there, and then uh, uh, just stay within that those two walls, so that I'm not stepping in the dew on this side or this side.
Well, it is. It's about relaxing. And John, I love that image as well of the still candle inside. I think that's lovely. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah, Mary, I really, yeah, it's great. Oh, Rafi, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of things. One, trusting. When I'm on my way somewhere, whether it's reading for the children in the school or going to the open mic cabaret to in the afternoon thing we do on Monday, or to supermarket. On my way, I just say, my in beingness, beingness. Let this whole experience go harmoniously, lovingly, blissfully, happily, and then just drop it. And I go to the end, have the experience, loving everybody while I'm there, because I just keep running. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then on the way home, I realized it's exactly how it turned out.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
didn't do anything. Okay. I just turned it over to something that is real. And the other thing, when she said about welcoming and receptive, Lester Levinson used to say, all the masters as one, whether they're in their body or not, they're still just a oneness, are constantly pushing the grace of God at us, lovingly, persistently, carefully, gently, but it's always, and it's all we have to do is be open and receptive to it. Because there's never a time when there's never a moment when it's not there.
Yeah,
And that gets us right back into being in the moment, because you can't be receptive in the past and you can't be receptive in the future.
that's
They
true.
don't exist. So
Yeah.
it just, I love the way everything just ties together so perfectly, so harmoniously, and that's a perfect example of the truth of what we are right there.
I love that. That's true. You can't be receptive in the past or the future. You can only be receptive right now. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, I don't know what time it is, Joni. Is it
It's
time?
getting close. Would you like me to put the poem up so we can read it? You can read it again.
Yeah, or would somebody else like to read it this time? I've had my go. Anybody like to read it? Mary?
I
Oh,
wouldn't mind reading it, but Mandy, you read it so beautifully for us.
oh no, I would love you to read it, Mary, please. You do it in your way. That's just exactly right. Thank you.
In this moment, in this moment, don't touch any thought at all, and imagine you are trapped between two narrow walls, which are totally obstructed from all your thoughts. And if you touch them, you'll get hopelessly caught. Outside, there are lions surrounding your cell, and they can hear exceptionally well. So if your arms even touch those cold walls by mistake, better pray that those lions don't awake, because you'll be swallowed up through their open jaws, exactly like when you're lost in thoughts. So remain totally still and completely allow the presence of the present right here and now. Don't want anything from this moment, not even to move. There is absolutely nothing that stillness can't improve. Stay silent as the grave and look for nothing at all. Drop thoughts, let them bounce away like a ball. You don't need to forcefully push them away. They cannot harm you. They can't even stay. Because the secret is simply not to engage, whether they're happy thoughts or full of rage. Just leave them alone and don't invest in finishing thought sentences or giving interest. Hush. Keep quiet and drop any questions, any comments or judgments, ideas or perceptions. Be so still. You cannot even hear your breath, like before your birth and beyond your death. Who is it that is looking? What is it that's aware? Turn your attention within and hold it there. What is it that always remains the same, no matter what the appearances claim? That which remains untouched by disaster. It is your source. You met your master. When you allow everything to be without resistance, you return to the consciousness of pure existence. Complete relaxation in every moment, crystal clear. Here I am, pure spirit, right?
Oh, that was beautifully read, Mary. Really, with your whole soul. I really thank you. It was a privilege to listen. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Oh, thank you, everybody, so much for being here. It's just, and it's a heavenly pleasure. That's what it is for me. So, and a real privilege to be with you guys. So thank you, and hopefully see you next time.